you know, your midway, you talked about peace. You talked about holding fire, seizing fire by both parties, the federal government and the Avengers. And in your region, so many people out there on the street, they even refer to you as mother. Are you in touch with the Avengers, or have they reached out to you on this agitation?
Well, quite honestly, they have not. I wish they will. But then on the other hand, there is also this thing that until they reach out to anybody they choose to reach out to, we do not know who they are. And it doesn't mean that if they are people you know, and you eventually, when they unmask themselves, that you cannot say that you knew them as Avengers. You may know them as Tom, Dick, or Harry, but until they expose themselves to you like they did in the past, like people, I never got to know Tom Polo as a person until after the first attack on Baramatu, before I saw him face to face. And when I saw him, his reaction to me was, "Oh, you're a woman." And I said to him, "My son, you're small in stature." You know, so I mean that's a private conversation, but just to show you that you don't have to know them. What you need to do is to be on the side of justice and equity, both for the government of the day and for your people, which is really what any right-thinking person would do. So if I am reached out to, the first thing I would say is, please stop bombing or stop destroying the pipelines. That I have said publicly, and I will say privately if anybody reaches out to me. If anybody reaches out to me, I will make myself available. But I must also reach out to the government to look at these issues that are being raised. They are raising the same issues that Akaboro raised. They are raising the same issues Ken Serawiwa raised, the same issues that Tompolo them raised, and we have raised. And I keep saying the issue of the Niger Delta is not about pipeline contracts. It is not about contracts to secure any pipeline or anything. You cannot secure my community for me better than I can secure it for myself. That is true. Nobody can secure Nigeria better than Nigerians can secure Nigeria. But before we begin that process, we must come to terms with the fact that Nigeria has been governed along the lines of injustice and inequality, and people must know that they are part of Nigeria, not carried along. You can't carry me along. It is my right to be a Nigerian. I will not beg to be a Nigerian. I'm a Niger Delta person. I'm a Niger person. That's who I am. I'm a Nigerian. It's my right. And so is every other person. So you will not carry me along. Who are you to carry me along? You cannot carry me along. We will all walk along together, hand in hand, not one in front of the other and the other person behind. We're all equitable. We are all responsible. We are all equal partners in the Nigerian project. We all gained independence on the same day. Nobody is superior. Nobody has the sole authority and right to govern Nigeria. You run for election, you win election. We all work with you. If you're good, you're good. If you're not good, you're not good. But to make a group of people constantly feel that they are inferior and they must be conquered and that the other person is superior, that is the major problem in Nigeria, and that must be resolved. We must look at the issue of fiscal federalism. We must look at it. It's the only thing that has worked in the past. It worked after the independence. It worked when we had regionalism, when we had Zik, we had Awolowo, and we had our leaders, our fathers in the north. Those time it worked. Since after the military rule, nothing else has worked. We must do what works.
Talking about what works here, there are arguments that for anything to happen, there will have to be accountability and community empowerment. But if you talk about accountability and community empowerment, then you look at what roles have the past leaders and the present leaders of the Niger Delta played in the situation as it is?
See, when you say the past roles, look, if anybody want to go and live in the past, if anybody want to come and build the East-West Road now and bring light to my community and clean up all the mess in the Niger Delta in terms of the environmental devastation that is going to take 30 years to be remediated, if anybody is able to do that and get back the 50 years that we have lost, if they have that capacity, if they are God, they can go ahead and do it and fast forward it and bring it to today. Now, if we're not going to be able to achieve that, we accept that our leaders have been irresponsible. We accept those ones. We want to hold the present ones accountable. We want to work with them. But you don't hold us back in one spot and say that we must hold them. What do you want us to do? We should go and bring the past governors and jail them or what, and bring them to the market square and kill them. Yes, we point out what has gone wrong, but we must move forward. We cannot say because the past governors have not performed, therefore it is okay that this present ones should not perform. No, we must move forward. We accept that there is accountability to be had. But while that accountability is being looked at, we must move forward. How do we move forward? That's what we're talking about.
All right.
So if we say we want security, how do we get security? When people are hungry, when people are feeling hounded, how do we move forward?
All right, Ms. Annkio Briggs, Niger Delta activist, thank you for your time today on the program.